welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be ranking all the K-dramas I've ever watched. Brace yourself, it's going to be a pretty long video. Also, just like always, these are solely going to be my opinions and you don't have to agree with them. So, I've been watching K-dramas for about 10 years now, and the moment this idea came to me, I was super excited. Over here, as you can see, I have a lot of K-dramas added, 50 to be exact, and I'll be ranking all of them. I'm pretty sure I've watched more than these, but I just can't seem to remember them right now. So, oh well, 50 will have to do. Before we move on to the ranking, I just want to explain the 6 tiers we have over here. The perfection tier. These are the K-dramas that I could find no faults with. These are basically reserved for those K-dramas that are perfection. The best of the best. This is basically the God tier. 10 on 10. The next one is the mind blown tier. This is for the K-dramas that were really good and had an element that surprised me. There was something that the drama did that I didn't expect it to do, and it wasn't perfect, but it was very close to perfect. Basically a 9 on 10 K-drama. So the next one we have is the highly recommended tier. This is for those K-dramas that I really enjoyed. These were the K-dramas I was highly invested in, but they didn't have that surprise element. On a scale of 10, these would be an 8. The next one is the feel-good tier. This is for those K-dramas that were basically feel-good. They had their flaws, but they made me feel good nevertheless. These would be probably 6 or 7 on 10. The so-so tier. This is for the K-dramas that were just average. They failed to interest me. They weren't bad, but they weren't good either. I'd rate them about 4 or 5 on 10. And the last, nope, didn't like it tier. This is basically for those K-dramas that I thought were absolute trash. They'd have the rating for 3 or less, and I just wouldn't recommend these. So now, without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first one that we have over here is Romance as a Bonus Book, and I'll definitely put this in highly recommended. Because when I first started watching this drama, I definitely thought that this would be probably a so-so or maybe a feel-good drama. But then it just turned out to be a little more than that. I really enjoyed the characters, and I especially loved the chemistry between the main characters. And Lee Jong-suk, as always, was fabulous in this one. So if you haven't watched this out, do check it. Moreover, this drama has the elements of books in it because the setting for this is a publishing company, and so books are a major part of the setting. And well, I like that part a lot. So yeah, definitely highly recommend. Okay, so the next that we have is the Social Avengers Club, and again I'll be putting this in the highly recommended tier. So I'm not sure if you've heard of this because this was not as popular K-drama. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, but if you haven't heard of this one, please do check this out because it was a very refreshing K-drama. It was a very short one too, probably just 12 or 13 episodes. And this was about 3 women who were in their late 30s. And so this drama shifted from the normal paradigm of a rich boy, poor girl kind of K-drama. I also love this K-drama because I especially love the bond that these 3 women formed. And these 3 women who came from very different walks of life and had very different experiences come together. So yes, it wasn't anything that blew my mind. It definitely wasn't something that introduced a very new concept, but it was definitely a refreshing K-drama because not a lot of K-dramas focus on these aspects. So yeah, check it out. Okay. The next one that we have is Legend of the Blue Seas, and I will have to put this in the feel-good tier because it was good, but it just wasn't that good. And when I started watching this, I was expecting this to be like that. I just watched it because, well, Lee Min-ho and Jin Ji-yoon, and I like both of the main characters. So yeah, nothing very interesting or nothing very surprising either. It was just okay. but with a great cast. Alright, so next that we have is Rebel Detectives. This is Kim Namjoo's from A-Pink's K-drama, and I will put this in. I think I'll put this in Feel Good because okay, so this is basically a very short K-drama with I think 9 episodes, and while this K-drama didn't obviously have a lot of time to expand on a lot of things, but I did like the cast and I basically watched it for Namjoo, so yeah. I did love Namjoo's acting in this one, and I like that the K drama was short, and I mean, I was invested in it, but it wasn't something too mind blowing or yeah, so feel good. Okay, next one that we have is Master's Son, and I think I'll put this in highly recommend. Okay, so I was very hesitant to pick this up because it was a horror K drama, and I just can't watch horror. But surprisingly, this was a horror comedy, and when I started watching it, I wasn't scared at all. So, if I wasn't scared, I can assure you nobody would get scared of this K drama. And if you haven't watched it because of that factor, please get over it and just watch it. It is really fun to watch. I love the main characters, I love their chemistry, and I just loved it. I loved it so much. Okay, so yeah, it also follows that normal paradigm that K drama normally follows: rich guy, poor woman, and well, the girl likes the guy, and the guy doesn't reciprocate feelings and all that. But despite um, that paradigm that you see all the time in K dramas, this had something different to it. I loved the main characters a lot, and I loved their personalities. I definitely thought that the main characters were a little different from the rest of the K dramas that normally follow this paradigm. And I don't want to say a lot about it. I just really loved it. I was really invested in it, and this drama made me laugh, and then it also made me cry, and it was a roller coaster, and I highly recommend it. Alright, so the next that we have is Moon Embracing the Sun, and I will definitely put this in. Okay, I think I'll put this in Mind Blown because of the last episode, I really didn't see it coming, and I was really, really invested in it. I liked the characters a lot, and I just didn't expect to be as drawn to a historical K drama. I think this was my first historical K drama, like at least a completely historical K drama, because there are some in which they go back and forth in time, and like most of the drama is set in the present, like in 21st century, but then just a little bit, like 1 or 2 episodes set like in the past, like in Joseon era. So yeah, but this K drama is completely set in the Joseon era, and I really liked it. I thought that the writing for this K drama was really good, and the characters played like really well. So yeah, I definitely would put this in Mind Blown. And if you haven't watched this, do check it out. I also really like the OST for this one. It has it has some really great songs that I still listen to, despite the fact that I watched it quite a long time back. I still remember it, and I still remember feeling very intrigued and very invested in this K drama. Okay, so the next one that we have is Switch Change the World. I put this in highly recommend, and yes, I really loved Switch. So if you haven't heard of this K drama, or if you haven't watched it yet, Switch is basically about this con artist and this prosecutor who look the same, and no, they're not identical twins, and they aren't long lost brothers or anything, but they just look the same. And if you can get over that fact, then well, I don't think that you would have a lot of problems in being invested in this K drama. I thought the characters were really refreshing, especially the con artist character. He wasn't the usual kind of person. He was very warm and friendly kind of guy, and he just won hearts really easily. The prosecutor, on the other hand, was very cold and had a very icy exterior, and the love interest, the girl, she was also a prosecutor, and I just loved her character as well. She was very strong, and um, she was a wonderful female protagonist to look at. I really loved it, and there were a lot of things in this K drama that I didn't see coming. Not in terms of plot, but in the way it was executed, like the normal K drama stereotypes that are followed. That I don't want to get into a lot of details about, because I don't want to spoil that for you. So if you haven't watched it, do check it out. This is a wonderful K drama, and I bet you'd have a lot of fun watching it. I This was a very high stakes drama, and I still found myself laughing and smiling and just rooting for the main characters all the time. Not just so that they could get together in the end, but also because of the way the plot was going forward. We're always constantly rooting that they'd find out the villain, like who the villain is and stuff. So, yeah. Okay, so the next one that we have is Pinocchio, and I think I will put this in Mind Blown because now that I've watched so many K dramas, probably this wouldn't blow my mind as it did when I watched it back then, but when I watched it, it definitely did blow my mind. I love the characters. I mean, they still feel so homely, and I love them so much even now, even after all this time. I watched it when it was released, like right after it was released, so it's been quite a while since I watched it, and I can still feel everything that this drama made me feel. It made me laugh, and it made me cry, and it was a roller coaster ride. It was a complete package and a very high stakes drama. I just loved the focus and like the main purpose of this drama was, and how it served to fulfill it. I also loved how the main character, Choi Dalpo, how he grew from the first episode to the last episode, and the last episode I just loved it so much. So yeah, I don't want to talk a lot about it. Definitely when I started watching it, the first episode I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't invested in the first episode, but when the first episode ended and the second started, and like we got to know about the backstory of Choi Dalpo, because that part was a little hard to move on, like to get into. But once that was done, I was just so invested, and I just couldn't think about anything other than this K drama. So yes, highly recommend, and it definitely blew my mind. Okay, so the next one that we have is Sung Kyung Won's Scandal, and I really liked it, and I'm not sure where to put it. Should I put it in Mind Blown, or should I put it in Highly Recommend? I think I'll put this in Mind Blown because, well, it wasn't exactly the plot that blew my mind, but it was the way the characters were written. I especially loved Park Min Young in this one. She was phenomenal. I loved her character. Her character felt so authentic, and the way she played it and everything, it was just wonderful. I also loved the other guy, like the main character, her love interest. He was wonderful too, and I I didn't think that I would like this K-drama so much, especially because I don't feel myself gravitating towards the historical K-dramas, but I still loved it so much. And yes, if you don't know anything about this K-drama, then one thing that you should know is that this is a gender bender, and Park Min Young pretends to be a guy, and yeah, I just love gender benders too. So yes, definitely, I loved it, and I will put this in Mind Blown. Okay, so the next one that we have is Suspicious Partners, and while I know a lot of people really loved it, I think I'll put this in so-so because by the time I watched Suspicious Partners, I had watched too many crime dramas, and I'd watched too many dramas that basically had a very similar plot line, and I just wasn't intrigued by this, and it just felt like a drag to me. I just watched it for Ji Chang Wook, seriously. That's all I have to say for this one. Okay, so the next one that we have is The Girl Who Sees Scent. And I will put this in Feel Good because, yes, I was invested in this K drama and I definitely uh, wanted to see more, and it just kept me on my toes. But I think the ending didn't seem to satisfy me. Make me very it didn't make me feel satisfied. So, and also this K-drama was very forgettable because I can't seem to remember much about this. But yes, I definitely like the concept of the girl being able to see the scent, and so yeah, I'll just put this in Feel Good. Nothing much to say about it. You can check it out if you want to. You might like it, but I just didn't find it that good. Okay, so the next one that we have is Nightmare High, and I will put this in Feel Good again. So this is not exactly a feel good kind of K drama, but I'll put this here because um, it was an okay K drama. It wasn't bad, and it definitely wasn't so. It had its plus points, but I just felt that everything that the drama led up to, like the last episode, just didn't do justice to the K drama. I just couldn't understand why this K drama ended on such a note. So you might not have heard of this one because it's not as popular, but I just love the concept. So basically, there's this teacher who happens to have these magical powers or something, and he gives the students in his classes what they desire the most. And I found the plot very interesting, but the way it was handled in the end, it just was a miss for me. Okay, so the next one is To the Beautiful You, and I will put this in so because it was very forgettable. I can't seem to remember what it was about. I know I watched this for Choi Min Ho from Shiny, and there was also Suli in this K drama, and Suli was one of my favorite K-pop artists, and it is heartbreaking to be talking about her like this, but oh well. Anyways, so this K-drama is a gender bender where Suli pretends to be a guy and she lives in the same dormitory as Choi Min-ho, and well, they both fall in love in the end. It was a pretty regular kind of K-drama, but I did like Suli a lot. Okay, so the next one that we have is Playful Kiss, and unfortunately, I will have to put it in Nope, didn't like it. So, this K-drama starred Kim Yeon-jung, and I was very excited to watch this K-drama because, well, it had Kim Yeon-jung, and before watching this K-drama, I had watched Boys Over Flowers, and I really loved this character over there. So, I just expected to like this K-drama, but then I just didn't. It was too much drama and too much unnecessary drama. Ohani was very immature, and I think so were the other characters. It was just overall a huge mess, and I just wouldn't recommend it. The next K-drama that we have is Hwarang, and I will put this in highly recommended. So the one thing that you should know about Hwarang is that it is a historical K-drama, and the other, it has a whole lot of people that you would probably know. It's got BTS's V, and Shiny's Choi Min-ho, and Park Young-sik, and Park Seo-joon. So it's got this amazing cast, and honestly, I started watching it for the cast, but then I slowly just got really interested in the story, and then I just really loved it. I watched it quite some time back, so I don't exactly remember it, but I also loved the main character, like the girl who played the love interest for the main character. And yeah, it was just a wonderful K-drama. I remember being very invested in this, and So I'll highly recommend this. I also like the OST, and one of the songs is by V and Jin from BTS. So if you haven't heard that, if you haven't checked this drama out yet, do check it out. Alright, so the next one that we have is My ID Is A Gangnam Beauty, and undoubtedly I will put this in Perfection Exists because, God, this K drama is the best of the best. Seriously. Hands down, this is one of the best things I've ever watched, and I highly, highly, highly recommend you to watch it. I just loved how subtly this K drama showed a lot of things that people have to face in college, and I just loved how authentic experience this K drama gives you of college, and it was just I have no words for this. This is just a wonderful K drama with amazing cast, and I loved it. Loved it. I especially loved the main characters, like both the main characters and the love interest, the guy. He's just so nice and so dreamy, and he is so wonderful. I just loved it, seriously. Okay, so the next K drama that we have is Goblin, and I will put this in highly recommend. This K drama could easily have been perhaps in Mind Blown or Perfection Exists, but the last few episodes they were just too much for me. It was just too much crying, and it was just too sad. But the first thing that I want to say is the reason why I started watching Goblin was the cast. The amazing cast. We have Kim So Yoon in this. Okay, even though her role is very small, but she's here. And then Yuina and Lee Dong Wook and B2B Sanjay, and oh my gosh, I just loved all of these characters, and I especially loved Lee Dong Wook. I loved his role as Grim Reaper, and more than the main couple, I was so much more invested and interested in the Grim Reaper and Sunny's romance. I loved it, and I would highly recommend this. Alright, so the next one that we have is My Lovely Girl, and I will put this in, I think, so. Okay, so I watched this K drama for Crystal again, but this, I don't, okay, I think I should put this in didn't like it. I don't even remember much about it. I just couldn't. I didn't like it, and I wouldn't recommend it. Alright, so the next K drama that we have is Boys Over Flowers, and I will put this in Feel Good. So, yes, Boys Over Flowers is the first K drama that I ever watched, and that is why I have a lot of feelings attached to it. Definitely, it has one of the most amazing OSTs. I love almost all the songs that were played throughout the drama, and also the cast. We have Lee Min Ho, and then we have Kim Bum, and we have Gu Yesun, and I just love the cast as well. The drama had a lot of flaws, especially the whole bullying thing, and I just didn't like the way it was handled. The main romance was the way the main romance came to be. I didn't like that either, but I have a lot of feelings attached to it because it was the first K drama I ever watched, and I think that's why I'm putting this in Feel Good. But if I had watched Boys Over Flowers now, I probably would have put it in Nope, didn't like it, because there were a lot of flaws with this K drama, like the whole kidnapping thing and a lot of toxicity. But yeah, I'll put this in Feel Good. I think I think you would have already watched Boys Over Flowers. It's a very old drama. Like, I mean, it's been over 10 years since it first aired. So, but yeah, okay, Feel Good. Okay. So the next one that we have is Healer, and I will put this in highly recommend. Again, I liked it. I liked it a lot. And the only reason why I'm not putting this in Perfection Exists or Mind Blown is because I'd watched too many K-dramas that had a similar kind of concept, and so it didn't exactly blow my mind. I was waiting for it to, but it just didn't do that. But I still liked it, and I liked the mystery. It was I think I binge watched it, so I watched the whole thing like at once. But I definitely thought that it didn't have an element of surprise or something to set it apart from other K dramas that followed a similar paradigm. So the next one that we have is Rooftop Prince, and this is definitely the first K-drama that I've watched with even a little bit of historical setting, and I will put this in feel good or highly recommend. Okay, I think I'll put this in highly recommend because I definitely liked it. It has a few concepts that I haven't seen being exploited as much as they were in this K-drama. So one is reincarnation. I loved how it was used, and the second was time travel. And yeah, there you'll find a lot of other time travel K-dramas, but this one was different. I loved the cast. I also loved the OST, and I loved in general the plot too. Yes, it could have been executed in a better way, but it was still really good. Okay, so the next one that we have is Heartstrings, and again, I'll have to put this in. I didn't like this. I picked this K-drama up because it had Park Shin-ye in it, and I just really wanted to like it, and I didn't. It was a very regular kind of K-drama. It was everything that you would expect, and perhaps a lot of other people liked it because this could be many people's first K-drama. And if that was the case, I definitely think that you would rank it as feel good or maybe higher because it was your first, but it just didn't do it for me. It wasn't my first, and I had seen too many of these kind, and this was just too trite and too banal. Alright, so the next one that we have is While You Were Sleeping, and I will put this in. I think I'll put this in highly recommend because I loved it. I especially was very intrigued for the first 8 episodes, but after that, I slowly started losing my interest because they kept on adding more and more characters to, well, to keep their storyline going, and that just didn't settle well with me. I definitely like the concept of seeing your future in your dreams, and then a lot of people be doing that. I definitely started watching this K drama for Lee Jong Suk and Bae Suzy, and loved their chemistry. Also loved the OST. So yeah, highly recommend, but definitely didn't blow my mind, especially because of how the story went on after 8 episodes. Okay, so the next one that we have is He's Psychometric, and I will put this in. Okay, I think I'll put this in mind blown because not particularly because of the storyline, but because it handled a lot of things at once. First of all, great cast. The main character is God7's Junior, and yes, I watched this K-drama for him. The one of the supporting character is Sisters Dasom, and I loved her too. Don't want to say a lot about that because if you've watched this K-drama, you know what happens to her, and I didn't like that. But yes, it did blow my mind in the way that it handled a lot of sensitive issues that I didn't expect it to. I thought it was going to be a very regular kind of mystery, but it had something more that did surprise me. And yes, I was so scared when I was watching this K-drama because the music, it was so creepy, I swear. So when I was watching this K-drama, I was actually living alone, and that scared me so much that I actually only watched this K-drama on Saturdays and Sundays when I went to live with my relatives, and so I finished that K-drama then because I was just so scared. So yeah, but I definitely think it blew my mind. Not exactly in terms of the plot, but in terms of the issues it handled. Okay, so the next one that we have is Lawless Lawyer, and I think that this K-drama is one that not a lot of people talk about. I don't know why. I think I'll put this in highly recommend, or should I put this in mind blown? a little confused, but okay, this is very close to a 9 or an 8. So, fine, I'll put this in mind blown because it did blew my mind. Though the plot wasn't something that you would not have heard of before, it's not that the plot was very, very unique. It was just the way it was executed. I loved that. I especially love the main characters. They were just so nice. I love them so much. I especially love the girl. She was so cool. I think in a lot of K dramas, they only show these two types of girls. One is either too shy and doesn't say anything, and the other, who is supposed to be a badass, but she's only a badass because she just goes about hitting people unnecessarily or being too rude or too loud. But this main character wasn't anything like that. She was just this no nonsense type of person who was polite, but only when being polite was okay, and she didn't take like other people's, like she was this very amazing character. Okay, I just loved her. She was this very no nonsense kind of person, and if you mess with her, then she would definitely stand up, and I like that. And yes, I do have a few questions that this drama didn't answer, and that's why I don't put it in perfection exists. And I do feel that this storyline is a little like, okay, when I watched the complete drama, I realized that okay, the storyline wasn't something too innovative. You would have heard this before, but I liked it, and while I was watching it, I was very, very intrigued and very invested in it. Okay, so the next K drama that we have is Memories of Alambra, and this one I watched for Park Shin Ye and Yun Bin, and unfortunately, I didn't like it. I'll have to put this in so because it obviously wasn't the worst thing that I've ever watched, but it was just so similar to W. I mean, I just could see that, yeah, this was created by the people who created W. Another thing, when I started watching this K drama, like initially I picked this up for Park Shin Ye and Yun Bin, but I stayed for Chanyeol. I wasn't expecting EXO's Chanyeol to be in this K drama, and well, when I saw him there in the first episode, I was like, I'll watch this for you, and I just watched it for him, really, because this drama didn't interest me a lot. I found Park Shin Ye's character to be very annoying. I did like Yun Bin's character. I mean, it was better than Park Shin Ye's, but yeah, Park Shin Ye's was just disappointing. But yeah, I watched it for Chanyeol. So I mean, you can pick it up, but I don't see how it would impress you. Perhaps it might. Maybe it might not. Maybe it would not. I don't know. You'll have to try. Okay, so the next one that we have is You're Beautiful, the K drama that made me love Park Shin Ye, and I will put this in highly recommend. So this is basically a gender bender K drama where Park Shin Ye pretends to be her twin brother and plays double role, and this is about this K-pop boy group, and how they get together and everything, and it's also about the romance between like Park Shin Ye and Jang Chun Suk, and I just really liked it. Yes, okay, it has a very trite kind of storyline. It has all the things that you would expect, but I still liked it. I still liked it a lot. I don't know why. I just loved it, and I also love the OST. So yeah. Okay, so the next one that we have is Doctors, and yeah, I watched it for Park Shin Ye, but I didn't like it a lot, so I'll put this in so. So, what do I say about this one? I started watching this for Park Shin Ye, and also what I liked about it was that, at least in the first two episodes, Park Shin Ye had seemed to come out of her good girl persona and taken up this badass character, but then that changed after the third episode, and then she was back to her good girl persona, and it was just a very soap opera kind of K-drama, and no, it just didn't do it for me. Okay, so the next one that we have is Welcome to Waikiki, and I'm a little confused whether to put this in feel good or in so. Um, I think I'll put this in so-so because I just I wanted to like it, but I didn't. I especially didn't like the main character, the girl. I don't even remember her name anymore. But she was the one with the baby soul. Yeah, baby soul was my favorite. But if you like exclude her, then my favorite was Lee Jung Ki in the cast. I thought he was very funny, and I always kept on waiting for his scenes. But the main character, the girl, I just found her very annoying, and I just didn't understand why this group was helping her out in the first place. Like, she didn't really have anything to offer, and it just didn't make sense to me that, well, a lot of things about her didn't make sense to me. So yeah. So the next one that we have is Defendant, and I started watching it because it's got SNSD Yuri in it, and I just love her. She's my bias in SNSD, and I will put this in highly recommend. I think this drama could have been in Mind Blown or maybe even Perfection Exists if there weren't a few plot holes or things that I found a little inauthentic. But I just loved it. I loved the OST and I love the character, especially the main character. And I feel that if you are one of the people who has been through a very dark time from where you thought it was impossible to get out of, I think this drama is for you. The main character is found in this really bad situation, and he has no hopes of getting out of it, and he still manages to get out of it. And I just really like that. I really loved how hopeful the drama was. Like, despite all the bad things that were happening, the main character managed to do things that, well, seemed impossible, and anyone else in his shoes would have probably given up, but he didn't. And that was that was the best thing. Yeah, so do watch it if you haven't already. Okay, so the next one that we have is My Girlfriend Is A Gumiho, and it definitely goes in feel good. I loved Shin Minna in this one and Lee Sung Ji. I loved their chemistry, and I also love the OST. I I also like the fantasy element about this nine-tailed fox. It was one of the very first K-dramas that I watched, and so I was just very invested in it. And I think even now, if I watch it, I would be invested in it. I thought that the episodes were funny. Some of the humor were too, well, too not for me, but despite all of that, I really liked it. It was a very heartwarming kind of K-drama, a very feel good. So yeah. Okay, so the next one that we have is Cinderella and the Four Knights, and this one would also go in feel good. Again, wonderful OST and a wonderful cast. So I started watching this for A-Pink's Noun. I really love A-Pink, and I try to support them as much as possible, and I'm always wanting to see more from them, like any content that they put out. So that's why I watched this K-drama, and yeah, it was, so basically this is a remake of Boys Over Flowers, so it was everything that I expected it to be, and I just expected it to be a feel good, and that's exactly what it was. Okay, so the next one that we have is My Love from Another Star, and I will put this in highly recommend. So when I watched this K-drama, I loved it so much. I loved it so much, because this has this very light-hearted kind of mystery, but I think the main highlight of this K-drama is the main couple. Like, Park Soo-yoon and Jun Ji-yoon were so good together. I loved how this drama made me laugh. I especially loved Jun Ji-yoon's character. She was so sassy and so funny. I just loved her. She was so extra all the time, and I loved that. I just did. So yeah, I highly recommend if you haven't checked this out already, but I'm pretty sure you would have. Okay, so the next one that we have is Who Are You, School 2015, and again, I will put this in highly recommend. The first thing I want to talk about is the cast. We have B2B's Sanjay, Kim So-yoon, and Nam Joo-yuk, and if that doesn't make you want to watch the K-drama, I don't know what will, but maybe the plot will. It is basically about high school bullying, and I think you should watch it because it is about this girl who is tormented a lot, and it's just very heartbreaking the things that happen to her. So yeah, just watch it. And also the OST, wonderful. Okay, and yeah, one more thing. I was on Team Sanjay. I just didn't understand why she had to choose Namjoon. Okay, I mean, he's Namjoon, but then Sanjay was just. I just really wanted her to choose Sanjay. Anyways, the next one that we have is Oh My Venus, and I think I'll put this in so because yeah, okay, I started watching this because I expected this to be a feel good K drama, and well, I really liked the aspect of the obesity aspect that it had, and the whole weight gain and weight loss thing. I also liked I liked the first 8 episodes, but then later it just became very redundant and tried something that I've watched millions of times, and it just wasn't feel good anymore. So yeah, that's why I put it in so. Okay, so the next that we have is Tunnel, and the main character Choi Jin Yuk, because of whom I watched this K drama, and I will put this in. I think highly recommend or mind blown. I'm not sure. I'll put this in highly recommend. So it's basically a mystery, and again, it has a time travel aspect to it. I don't want to say a lot about it because it's a mystery, but yes, I did like it. I thought it was very well done, and you should check it out. Okay, so the next one that we have is Plus 9 Boys, and you might not have heard about this, but I have, because we have Park Churong from Apink in this one, and I watched this for her. It wasn't the best drama, and Churong didn't have a lot of role either in this one, so that's not much to say. I would just say um, I like the concept of the whole plus 9 boys. Like, all of these boys were of the age, I think, 9 and 19 and 29, 39, stuff like that. So, and apparently bad things happen with people at these ages. And it was something like that. So the concept was intriguing, but I just didn't like the execution. So I'll put this in. Nope, didn't like it. Not gonna recommend. Alright, so the next that we have is Bride of Habik, or Bride of Water God, and I will put this in, I think so. So basically, I started watching this K drama because it has Nam Joo Hyuk in it, and Shin Se Kyung, and Crystal, but mainly for Crystal because I really like her. So yeah, but this K drama just didn't do it for me. It wasn't my cup of tea. I like the whole god aspect of it, like the whole gods and goddesses and the whole mythology thing, but overall it was just a drag, and I just found Crystal's character annoying. I really wanted to like her. I mean, I basically watched this for her, but no, her character was just annoying and ununderstandable. Seriously. Okay, so the next one that we have is Secret Garden, and I will put this in, I think, Feel Good. So it's a gender-bender drama where, the guy and the girl, they exchange their souls because of some reason, so it also has a fantasy element to it. You would have probably watched it, but if you haven't, you can check it out if you want to watch something feel good. You might like it more than, maybe you'd rank it higher than Feel Good, but for me it was just a feel good drama. It didn't have a lot to offer. Definitely, I thought acting wise the cast was great, like they did great acting, but yeah, it was nothing new, or it didn't have the element of surprise or anything to it. Okay, so the next one that we have is Personal Taste, and I will put this in, um I'll put this in nope, didn't like it, because it was a very forgettable K-drama which didn't have a lot to offer. In this K-drama, Lee Min-ho pretends to be gay so that he can live in the same house as this girl, and well, they end up falling in love and stuff. It was just very trite and very banal. I thought that this was something that we had seen a lot of times, and I don't recall how the whole gay aspect was handled, but I just don't know. I didn't like it. Okay, so the next one that we have is I Can Hear Your Voice, and I will put this in highly recommend. So I watched this K-drama for Lee Jong-suk, and he was wonderful in this. So this has this, fantasy element that Lee Jong-suk can hear people's voices if he looks into their eyes. And yes, it's a mystery drama with the whole law and crime and all that stuff, and it was very interesting. So I do suggest that you check it out. The next one that we have is She Was Pretty, and I will put this in Feel Good. So I think the best part of She Was Pretty was the fact that we had Savon in this, and I just loved his character. And I think the whole K drama, like, the only reason why I liked it so much, or at least the major reason why I liked it so much, was because of Savon. His character was great, and he added, like, he was the funniest guy over there, and the humor that he added was great. I just loved him, and I loved every scene that he was in. And the rest was, well, it was okay. Like, it was everything that you would probably expect. Okay, so the next one that we have is the Heirs, and I will put this in Feel Good. So the Heirs has this wonderful, wonderful cast. We've got Lee Min Ho and Park Shin Ye and Kim Woo Bin and Crystal, and there's just so many people, right? And while the cast is wonderful, the drama doesn't have a lot to offer. Yeah, the screenplay is great. Like, I like the writing, but I just didn't like the plot. There were a lot of things in the plot that they just could have done well, or better at least. So yeah, but the OST was good, and the cast was good, and the screenplay was good. The plot, it was just something that you would expect from a K-drama that has a chip bowl and a poor character. So, I mean, you can watch it, but I don't think it would do a lot for you. So, yeah. Alright, so the next one that we have is Tales of Nokdu, and well, I started watching it for Kim So-yoon, but I ended up staying because of the guy who plays Nokdu, and I will have to put this in. I think I'll put this in highly recommend. I was a little confused about whether to put it in highly recommend or feel good, but I think I'll put this in highly recommend. To be honest, I didn't like Kim So-yoon's character. It was just too. I mean, it was something that you have seen before, and it was just too much. But the guy who plays Nokdu, I just loved his character, and I just loved how the whole him pretending to be a girl thing turned out. I loved the way it was handled, and yeah, I just loved his character. So, well, you can check it out. I mean, I'm still confused about whether to put it in feel good or highly recommended, but I'll still go with highly recommend. Okay, so the next one that we have is Touch Your Heart, and I watched it because the main couple is that of Goblin. I'll definitely put this in highly recommend. So, when I first started watching this K-drama, I thought it was very, very similar to My Love from the Star, and the first episode does seem like that because the main character, like Yuina, is an actress, and she's also a very ditzy kind of actress. But then, slowly, from the second episode, this drama seems to find its own voice, and I just loved that. I loved Yuina's character. Like, she was so good. I just loved how they wrote her character. So yeah, and also the OST, the main title track, is by Wendy from Red Velvet. The next drama that we have is What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, and I'll definitely put this in feel good. It just, I mean, I started watching it because I expected it to be feel good, and that was what it was. It had this sort of light-hearted mystery intertwined, but it was mostly about the romance of Park Min Young and Park Seo Joon, and that was what I was there for, and that was what I got. So yeah, you can check this out if you want to. I don't think it will blow your mind or something like that, but it was very funny, and when I started watching this K-drama, it was exactly what I needed. So yeah. Okay, so the next one that we have is White Christmas, and I will put this in highly recommend. So I don't recall this K-drama a lot at this point of time. I watched it quite a long time back, but I really liked it. The only thing was that I felt that they had this wonderful concept, but they didn't execute it that well. So that's all I'm gonna say about it. You can watch it if you want to. I do recommend it, but it has its flaws. So yeah. Alright, so the next drama that we have is W, and I will put this in mind blown because this drama was so good. First of all, Lee Jong Suk was brilliant in this one. I loved him. I also loved the whole webtoon aspect about it, and I don't want to say a lot about it because I think you should go into this without knowing a lot. It just hooked me so much and I loved it. The only reason why I'm not putting this in Perfection Exists is because the ending wasn't satisfactory to me. It was like we went through a lot and a lot of things, and I just wanted a happy ending, and it wasn't exactly a happy ending. And I do think that this was a great choice. Like, it was a great writing choice, but we've just been through a lot, and I just wanted that the characters to have a little bit of, happiness in their lives. So yeah, do check it out. Alright, so the next one that we have is Sassy Go Go, and I watched this for Aping's Yunji, and I'll put this in highly recommend because gosh, it was so good. When I watched this, I was still in high school, and so I think I really, really connected with the cast and with the characters. But I think you would like it even if you're not in high school. Um, do check it out because it was just so good. I loved it. Okay, so the last one that we have is 20 again, and again I put this in highly recommended. I watched this for Aping's Noun in it, and yes, I loved this drama. So basically this drama is about this woman who is in her 40s, and she finds out that she has cancer and doesn't have a very long time to live. She's like a month or so at max, and that's why she decides to do things that she has always been putting back. I know that this might sound very, you know, very unoriginal, but there's just a lot more to this drama. And when I first started watching it, I also thought that this was going to be something that wouldn't touch me in the way it did, but it just was really good, and I think you should give it a chance. So that's it for now. This was very long, I know, but I hope you liked it. So, well, if you have watched these K-dramas, then how would you rank them? Do let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, or subscribe, and I will see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.